is Teenage DC Fan, back with another video, and in this video I will be doing another episode review for Black Lightning, and this episode was titled, The Book of Occupation, Chapter 3, Agent Odell's Pipe Dream. Okay, so Agent Odell is pulling a lot of strings here, but it's only a matter of time before things start to unravel, and if there was ever a question as to whether Agent Odell is, doing the right thing or doing the wrong thing, it's very clear now that he is doing the right thing. It feels like he opens every conversation with a reminder that we are at war and that Markovians are an immediate threat. And I felt he was being earnest at the start of the season, but now I'm starting to feel like he's being, like a good person, I guess you could say. Because the Markovians are in Freeland, and they're doing something, but what that is, we don't know. And actually, now that I think about it, the only thing we really know about the Markovians and their intentions is what Odell has said. So, they are a threat, but for what reason, I don't know. And in the last episode, one of Chief Henderson's officers was arrested for being a green light user and suspected meta. So he visits her at a meta detention facility in this episode, and she is visibly sick. So they talk, and she asks him to give her husband money from a safe deposit box she's been putting all her money into. He reluctantly agrees, of course. Then she doubles over in pain and begins to have a seizure. And it turns out that a deadly virus is going around the meta detention facility. And Odell tasks Lynn with finding a cure. So Lynn studies the virus and discovers it's man-made by Dr. Jace, who she'd worked with in the last season. And Odell thinks that Jace may have been captured by the Markovians and is working for them now. But Lynn believes that Cyclotronic infected other metas during his earlier attack on the facilities and was deliberately used as a biological weapon. And that's an effective plan for killing metas, but not sure how it makes sense if the Markovians are trying to acquire them, not kill them. So, when Odell gets out of pocket talking to Lynn, Lynn tells him who she is, reminding him that she doesn't work for him. And while I love that she asserts herself and continuously proves and reinforces her importance to the ASA, I think she believes she has more power than she has. Yes, her work is valuable, and she has a knowledge and a skill set that very few others have, if any others have, but her perceived autonomy is nothing more than a courtesy. If ever she becomes against Odell and the ASA, then they will dispense of her. He's already killed Isa. I mean, we just met him in the last episode, and yeah. And then he sent Khalil to kill his own mother, and there's no lines that he will not cross. He will cross all lines. So he's not just playing with Lynn either. Odell offers Jefferson freedom if he assists with rescuing captured ASA agents from the Markovians who pose an imminent threat. So he gives Jefferson a watch, which, when activated by Black Lightning's powers, produces a full-body costume, and I assume it does other things too. But you can see his new suit on screen here too, and it looks really cool. And I'm going to put aside the fact that it doesn't make sense to me and skip right to the fact that Jefferson really put the watch on all willy-nilly, knowing full well Odell is not to be trusted. I would assume at the very minimum the watch has a tracker and can monitor and record his vitals. So I would assume it has some way to disarm him or dampen his powers, because I have a feeling that something's up with these ASA people, and they're not completely who they say they are. But Odell says the reason he's keeping Jefferson there is, and experimenting on him, was to create tech so metas can live better, which is probably true, as their lives being better means they're in prime condition to be used in whatever the ASA deems necessary. But Jefferson agrees to do the op so he can go home. And when he eventually gets to the mission, he's told by the ASA agent on the ground that it's not a rescue, that they're actually after Dr. Jace. So Odell gave him the old okey doke, but he does what he has to because he wants to get home to his kids. But meanwhile, at the facility, Odell pays Tobias Whale a visit, and this dude's aging badly. Like, he refuses all meds. He's being offered to manage his old people problems, and Odell asks Tobias about the briefcase. And when Tobias refuses to give him information, Odell turns on the UV lights, which is painful for Tobias. Which basically means that, whatever condition he's in, apparently just 1 minute of being under those UV lights is like an hour on the beach, like without sunscreen or anything. So yeah, he's basically getting boiled alive. And, yeah. So then, Tobias gets burned and bruised and looking even nastier than before. So then later, Odell comes back, and once again he refuses Odell's offer for freedom and control over his old territory in return for the case. When Tobias dreams or hallucinates, Black Lightning is taunting him at the end of the episode. And, yeah, he still wants to kill Black Lightning. No surprise there, but I mean, just thought I'd mention it to keep you up to date. But on the outside, Jennifer shows a new kid around the school and expresses to him how wild Garfield is by telling him some of the recent attacks that have happened there. And then when she gets home, Odell is waiting for her, and he tells her that Markovians killed Khalil's mom. And the lie detector test has determined that is a lie. So we know he sent Painkiller to do the deed, and we know that he was successful. He asked her to use her powers to find and destroy a Markovian data farm, and of course she agrees. And he wanted to give Jennifer personal stakes in this so-called war, by making Markovians responsible for the death of yet another person that she cares about. And he succeeds in doing so. So at this point, Odell has influence on everybody but Anissa. And I think he knows she's Thunder, but doesn't know Thunder's Blackbird. And Blackbird is a major problem for the ASA. And even though he gives some passes, I doubt he would allow Anissa to continue to disrupt them unchecked. Especially when he has such powerful leverage on her family. So he works very hard to maintain the illusion that he respects and ultimately wants to protect the Pierce family, but that will be tested when he becomes aware of Anissa's activities. Maybe he'll come for her, but then Lynn and Jefferson will see what he's really about. And then also, Odell had Painkiller and Lightning working in concert, with neither of them the wiser. Assuming Khalil would even be conscious of who she is, he did know. But Jennifer found and destroyed the Markovian data farm, giving Odell their location. Then Painkiller went to their hideout and basically blasted all the people in there, pumped them full of lead, shot everybody, and did what he had to do, murdered all of them. And then finally Jefferson and Lynn were allowed to go home, But she was somewhat pressed that he made a deal with Odell without letting her know. And then Anissa freed some metas and evaded the ASA for like the 20th time, and reconnected with her missing lover and fellow meta, Grace. So all is right in the world, except everything isn't, because that's a tomorrow problem, or more like next week, because that's when the next episode's on. But yeah. So this is what happened in this episode of Black Lightning. I think this has been one of the better episodes of the season so far. I mean, it's only the 3rd episode of the season, but I definitely think it was better than past episodes of the season, episode 1 and 2. And I'm really liking Jefferson's new suit for Black Lightning. But that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you in my next video, so I can bestow all my DC knowledge upon you.